Hey guys, good evening everyone.
Hi everyone! Welcome to the daldalang walang curfew!
Usapang di nalalockdown. This is QuaranTALK.
Talk!
Hi Aya.
Hi Jules! It's another Friday!
Yeah, oo nga no, Friday and it's a rainy Friday, well, at least in Quezon City. And
Mm,
today is the 67th day of our quarantine.
yes. So Jules, anong bago? Anong update sa ating COVID-19 numbers?
Yeah, so kanina naglabas na uli ang DOH ng kanilang updated list for May 22nd. And ito po ang ating numbers right now para po mas makita ninyo. So we have 13,597 so far for the total cases. Ang death toll naman natin ay nasa 857 at ang total recoveries natin of course is 3,092 na po.
Mm-mm. So today, as of 4 p.m., we had 163 new COVID-19 cases. And
Right.
for the recoveries naman, we had 92, but then
Mhm.
11 patients have passed away today. Mm.
Ayan. So, antabay pa rin tayo syempre sa mga updates natin from the DOH and of course, MECQ pa rin po dito sa Metro Manila until the end of May. Susundin pa rin po natin mga protocols para po wag nang kumalat itong COVID-19.
Yes, so again, several parts of the country are still in the enhanced community quarantine. That's ECQ. Dito
Mhm.
sa Metro Manila, we have the MECQ, the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, habang sa ibang parte ng Pilipinas, karamihan ay nasa General Community Quarantine. So meron pa rin mga safety health standards na sinusunod. So hindi pa rin tayo fully relaxed. Now,
Mm.
to that, let me just give you an update on one of the, I'd say, controversial issues.
About the
Uh,
waves.
yes, about the waves in the past. I think the other night, nung sa huli nating episode no, before this, we also talked about how the DOH said, or at least Secretary Duque said that we are already on the second wave of the
Right.
pandemic.
Mhm.
But then the Department of Health issued an apology for the confusion that that
Yeah.
statement caused during the Senate hearing on this pandemic. Sabi
Mhm.
ng DOH, tayo po ay nasa first wave pa rin ng COVID-19 transmission. And the local transmission, kasi yung unang wave na binilang noon nung ni Secretary Duque ay kasama rin yung first three cases ng COVID-19. So again, sinabi ni Secretary ng sinabi ng DOH, particularly Promotions and Communications Service Director Dr. Beverly Ho said that yes, we are still on the first wave of COVID-19 transmission.
Okay, yan. So, yan na yung pinaka-standard na susundin natin. We're still on the first wave. Okay, so that ends our news part for the latest updates. Now we proceed to our next segment and that is our QuaranTRENDS. So, a few days ago, Aya, syempre trending sa ating social media, itong particular clip, di ba, ni Secretary Harry Roque at ng isang reporter na si Joseph Morong, kaibigan natin yan. At nag-trend siya kasi after, ang nangyari actually dito, nagalit si Secretary Roque sa isang CNN reporter dahil from the
Trish,
end of
yeah.
Secretary Roque ay may iba raw na misinterpret daw yung reporter na to. Pero pinarelax siya ni Joseph Morong. Ayan, may clip ako dito, Eya. Panoorin natin, mabilisan lang.
Joseph Morong.
Sir, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Relax.
Pero alam mo kasi, Joseph, kaya napakahirap itong trabaho natin. Kinakailangan natin to be very careful with how we report kasi kita mo naman kung paano nagre-react ang publiko. But yes, I take your word for it. I'm more relaxed now.
Ayan. So, yan yung nag-trend sa social media. Pero ever since naman talaga, since bumalik si Secretary Roque as spokesperson, si Joseph Morong yung naglalast talaga na question. Kasi si Joseph Morong as a reporter, very ano rin yan talagang very into details siya at talagang very sharp sa magtanong. So, nagkataon na medyo light siya dito. Pero kung babalikan mo yung tanong ni Joseph Morong doon, parang pinaintindi niya kay Secretary Roque na based din naman sa pronouncement ni Secretary Roque yung tinweet ni CNN. Pero anyway, na ayos na rin naman nila yung issue na yan.
Alright, no worries. Pero para ibigay lang yung konteksto para sa iba nating nanonood na baka first time ito narinig, it's just really that netizens online found humor and how Joseph Morong said relax kay Mr.
Harry Roque.
Yeah, and so sabi niya relax, and apparently nag-relax nga naman si Mr. Harry Roque. So and other than that, I think in-acknowledge na rin naman ni Secretary Roque ang kanyang yung situation na nangyari with CNN reporter Tercia Terrada, where he berated, quote-unquote, her on air during the press briefing for a CNN report, which apparently it wasn't Trisha herself who reported it. And CNN stood ground and said that it was what was in the statement. So, yun yung report nila. Yun. And yes, I hope that's the closure of this issue. Yun, and nakakatawa lang din siguro na online, no, ang daming nakikitang source of humor ng mga tao, especially on Twitter.
Right. I think our next one, did I forget something from the news or this is also trending? Itong sa tax natin.
Sure. This is another update. This is the latest news.
Yeah.
Netflix daw will be taxed soon. This is as the Department of Finance said that it's now studying viable ways to look into applying taxes on commerce and other streaming services on the internet. This is as Albay Representative Joey Salceda earlier filed a bill proposing to have to tax Netflix and Spotify, for example, these new platforms online, streaming platforms. And ayun, so Netflix said before kasi na Filipinos spend twice as much time on Netflix than the global average. That's according to this ABS-CBN news article. And yun, siguro kasi minsan nauna yung technology at innovation. Bago yung mga batas at bago yung mga protocols, bago yung mga guidelines na ganyan. So yan, tinitingnan po yan. Pero siguro, on a consumer standpoint, abangan din natin kung ano yung implication ng, syempre, pag nagpataw ng tax, kanina mapupunta yung burden of paying the tax. Aside from maybe the business itself, what would it mean for the consumers if you are subscribed to Netflix, for example, or Spotify? Would you have to pay more? So yan yung abangan nating balita, update dito sa Netflix or taxing issue on digital streaming platforms.
Right. And the realm of the internet is too broad, is too big, and we're not even sure how the government can enter this realm. Though we have the DICT right now, bago lang siyang department controlling this kind of realm, hindi pa rin natin alam kung paano papasok yung taxation dito. Let's say, yung e-commerce nga na nabanggit mo, Ea, paano masisingil yung mga nagbebenta online na hindi rin naman natatax. So ito yung ilan sa mga, to me, medyo logical din naman siya. Pero syempre, kasi kung compare mo yung mga businesses on ground as to businesses online, nagbabayad ng taxes yung mga nasa on ground. So paano yung mga nasa online? Pero syempre, parang safe space and parang ito yung leeway kasi ng ibang mga businesses na online sila na mas madali mag-business. Pero tingnan natin kung paano babaguhin yung mindset ng mga entrepreneurs natin kung meron na nga taxation online. Okay? Alright.
Yeah. But pero of course we also acknowledge that there are online businesses who are already paying taxes, like budding businesses, whether online or on ground. We know that some of you are already filing your taxes. You also have to, for example, those using the Facebook Marketplace, for example, and the new entrepreneurs who just got started, especially when ECQ happened. Yun din yung mga titingnan. And maybe the platform itself, yung Facebook Marketplace itself, will it be taxed soon? So yan.
Okay, so now, alam ko excited na rin yung mga fans ng ating guest ngayon kasi very interesting yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon, Eya. Yeah, what's that?
Yes. But before, yes, interesting. Pero I will just have to remind everyone that today is the International Biodiversity
Oh, yeah.
Diversity Day.
Mhm.
Yeah, International Day of Biodiversity. So, ayan. Again, this pandemic was brought about by our actions as human beings, as stewards of this planet. And we have the responsibility now to make sure that future generations won't have to suffer through another pandemic. And that will begin with what we're going to do now to protect our environment, to preserve the environment. So yeah, today we're calling everyone to be part of this campaign, to be more mindful of our waste and how we impact the environment.
Right.
Yan. And
Today is also the Global Day of Solidarity, and this is led by the SDG Action Campaign. So lahat ng mga groups all over the world, dito sa Pilipinas, we have the 2030 Youth Force in the Philippines, in the Asia Pacific also, and several countries in the Asia Pacific. We are one in this call, so solidarity in several issues, whether that's for gender equality, whether that's for solidarity for our frontliners, everything na syempre kailangan natin mag-solidify our support for all these sectors sa talagang kumakaharap sa iba't ibang issues, pandemic or non-pandemic. Meron silang mga issues na pinagdadaanan. So this is a symbolic day for that.
yeah, we are hashtag stronger together. Ayan. It's a global day of solidarity for the COVID-19 in the face of the COVID-19 threat. So again, ayan, let us see what else we can do for in this battle against this pandemic.
Okay, so our next segment is QuaranTHINKING. So we usually, we do select a theme, a topic per day. And ngayon, ang napag-isipan namin ni Eya, ano nga ba ang relevance ng paggamit ng influence, whether social media influence or influence man yan kung saan, for social good. Kasi di ba siyempre maraming mga sumisikat because of social media. But the question is, are they using their platform or their influence online for the common good? Diba, Eya?
Yes, and ang maganda dyan, kasi ngayon na nakakulong tayo sa ating mga bahay, or limited yung movement natin, mas marami rin yung mga nakababad on social media platforms. But now, how are we using these platforms? Or what else can we do with these platforms? So, isa rin yan sa mga pag-uusapan natin tonight. Kasama ang isa sa mga leading social media influencers ng generation na to. We are joined today by JANINA VELA.
Okay, we have her in 3, 2, and 1. Hi, Janina!
Hello, good evening! Woo!
How are you?
Okay naman po. Hindi ako sanay na 11 p.m. yung interview. Medyo parang tulog-tulog pa ako.
Time mo na ba ng 11 p.m., Janina?
Ano po? Sorry?
Time mo na ba usually pag 11?
Netflix time ko siya.
Oh, ito muna ang Netflix mo ngayon, magdadaldalan tayo.
Opo, game.
Okay, so Janina, this is just gonna be a fun conversation, hopefully, because we really want to get to know you better. And I know that maybe some of your followers are tuned in, but we want to know how you started your journey to your 700,000 followers online. Yeah, maybe take us back to the beginning. What got you started?
Back to the beginning, I was 15. 15 years old ako nung nag-start ako sa YouTube. Siguro mga 10 lang kami sa YouTube. And that was like Mikey, or like 10 from the Philippines. So, sina Mikey Bustos, Michelle D, Saiti ako. Si Will Dasovich, wala pa nga on YouTube at that time. He came in like a few months after that. And so, I loved watching YouTube. Personally, I loved watching international YouTubers because that's the only option that we had. And then eventually, parang I was kind of yearning for somebody I could relate to, somebody who had to deal with our humidity, somebody who's in the Philippines na walang SM department store, or na may SM department store na walang Target, or may national bookstore na walang Michaels, no? From na nakita natin on international YouTubers channels. And so I waited for somebody to pop up, pero nobody popped up eh. So, hindi ko alam kung sinapian lang ako or I don't know what came into a 15-year-old's mind to start a YouTube channel. But I don't know, I tried it out. Nung sinabi ko sa parents ko, sabi nila, well, what's the worst that can happen? And sabi ko, nga, what's the worst that can happen? So, very supportive naman yung parents ko. And then, so from there, I started for basic, parang hilig ko lang. Wala pa siyang deep purpose nun na parang, oh yeah, I want to change the world and I'm going to do all of these things. It was just a 15-year-old, amusing herself. And then eventually, that evolved.
Okay. So before yung pag-evolve na yun, Janina, pag-usapan natin yung mga content na pinopost mo. Ano usually yung process mo when you select content, especially when you were younger?
Yeah. So this was 6 years ago. I'm 21 now, and so I was 15. And so mahilig ako sa makeup, sa DIYs, room stuff. I liked what else? Yeah, just fashion and stuff. And I was really a beauty vlogger. Yun talaga yung tawag sa akin noon. Beauty vlogger. And so I would just whatever under the sun, normal school related vlogs or anything related to being a young student, no, I would post, but it was more on the girly side of life, more on the beauty side. Yeah.
Okay, so now, Janina, how often were you posting when you started?
Oh my gosh, para akong machine nun, parang robot lang, kasi I would post siguro 3 times a week, which was a lot, thinking that I was in school at the time, and I would, edit, post, write scripts by myself, and yung mga setups, inaral namin yung mga lightings and stuff, so it was a full production na binigay ko talaga yung 100% ko dun sa YouTube for siguro 3 to 4 years. That was my entire life. Yeah, so I would post 3 times a week.
Okay. On the technical side, Janina, kasi ewan ko siguro kung ako lang yun. When I was younger, parang pag nakikita ako ng mga programs to edit, mag-open pala ako ng Adobe, natutulala na ako kasi ang dami mga nangyayari. So ikaw parang, paano yung process mo ng how did you learn those things from the technical stuff of editing, the lighting? Did you have a team with you or solo flight ka?
Oh no team. I wish I had a team. For the first 2 years, it was me setting up my lights, setting up my camera. Actually, super old DSLR lang siya before na parang walang ang autofocus. So, kailangan kong gumanon para ma-focus ng correct. But, yeah, it was just me, and then my mom came in to manage me, I think, on my 2nd or 3rd year. Kasi hindi ko na kinaya with schoolwork. But I think, yeah, everything was self-taught, honestly. iMovie pa lang yung gamit ko nun. iMovie, and then just basic settings on the camera. I think, a lot of people always ask me, Janina, how do you start YouTube? Like, I want to start, but I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you know what? Just do it. I feel like we will never run out of excuses, but we will always run out of time.
Okay.
And so, I could go 7, 8, 24 hours talking about all of the reasons why I shouldn't have started, or I wasn't ready to start, or hindi pa ako, I'm not skilled enough to start. I could go forever talking about that, but then sayang naman yung time. Because in the time that I was saying na, I don't know how to use iMovie, I could have been learning how to use iMovie, In the time where I was complaining na, shucks, parang hindi ako marunong sa lighting, I could have been using that time to hone my skills in lighting. And so I decided that I would rather regret doing something than not doing something at all. And so it wasn't an option for me to just let my excuses overwhelm me, because I don't know, workaholic by heart, siguro. I was like, go, let's just try it. And the worst thing that we can do is fail, And for me, failure wasn't the worst thing that could happen. It was either, you win some or you learn some. And so losing wasn't really an option because I knew that I could learn from my experiences.
That's beautiful. And pero taking off from what you said, that your mom came in and started managing you, when did it become apparent to you that okay, wait, this is getting serious? I want to really focus on this and do serious stuff, or at least to take it seriously. Not the serious stuff yet. We'll get to that. But yeah, how did you start to really take it as a career?
Yeah, it took me 6 months to reach 500 subscribers. And so posting 3 times a week with 500 subscribers, medyo nakakawalan ng gana siya, no? But I still kept going after a while, and then that ballooned to 5,000 subscribers in 6 months. And then exactly a year after I started, parang I ballooned to 200,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. And so that point of my career, or my YouTube career, if you'd call it, no, I joined YouTube Fan Fest. And so YouTube Fan Fest is, a time where YouTubers come together and then the fans can meet the creators. And so I was there, this scrawny 16-year-old girl, no, standing on the stage and looking at all of these girls screaming my name. And I was very confused, to say the least, because for all of these, for this whole year, these months, parang nakita ko lang yung mga numbers, the subscriber count, and then eventually, little by little, some tweets here and there. But it just didn't dawn on me until later that there were people behind the numbers.
Mhm.
So when I saw them, I was like, yo, what is going on? Because to me, I just felt like a normal person, and I still feel like a normal person till today. My best friends have to remind me constantly that I'm like known, and so I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Like, I don't know, it never sunk in, I guess. But I think taking it seriously as a career was the first time that I met a couple of girls in public. That was they approached me, asked for a picture, and my parents were very confused. So was I. And they asked for a picture, and then they suddenly said, "Oh, Janina, you inspire me so much to be confident in my own skin." And that completely changed the platform for me, because I wasn't even trying to be inspirational at that point. I was just posting whatever I wanted to, because, like, whenever I wanted to, there was no real purpose for it yet. And then I saw the impact I could make by just showing up, by just being present on social media as a Filipina who's trying to, work a global platform. And so the idea that being present already empowered other women, that's the moment that I decided to take it seriously.
Okay. Janina, nabanggit mo you were overwhelmed when you met your fans, when they were shouting your name, and then nagka-turning point ka, then as I understand it, parang doon nagka-start ng direction lalo yung content siguro na ipopost mo. So since then, since na-realize mong na-overwhelmed ka at na-realize mong may impact ka sa iba't ibang mga tao, anong naisip mo? I mean, na-realize mo na very powerful yung platform mo kasi nga, 'di ba? May may na-touch mo yung buhay nila eh. Ano yung nasabi mo sa sarili mo na gagamitin mo dito sa platform mo? Paano mo gagamitin to wisely?
I think it was the realization that I have a very special connection with my supporters, because the connection that you have with a viewer is so different, because you have their undivided attention for 7 to 11 minutes. You're there in their most intimate zone, no, vulnerable zone. Nandun sila sa kama. They're watching you on their phones. They're watching you for 7, 8, and I realized, I asked myself, if I have their undivided attention for this amount of minutes, what would I want to say? What would I want them to remember from me? Would it be, just hair tips and style tips? Siguro, sakto lang. There are so many other people who can do it better than me. But then when I realized that, it was the inspiration, it was the empowerment, it was the confidence. that's when I decided to change my words, and that's what I told myself na I want to make the 7 to 11 minutes count.
Right. Great. So now, Janina, tell us now about the kind of content that you create. After these realizations, how do you now filter and decide what to put out through your platforms?
Medyo, biglaan kasi yung transition between, beauty content to what I post now. But I always took pride in the fact that I got to grow up with my followers, because the people who were following me then, who were grade school, and now I get tweets and emails saying that they got into their dream college, that they're about to graduate, and all those things. And so, the idea that I get to grow up with them and transform with them and change with them made me realize that it's not really specifically the beauty tips that they're listening, that they're watching for, or that they're connected to, but it's really that relationship of, okay, we're growing together. We're sharing whatever I'm passionate about. It's my voice that people are following. And so I think from then, as I changed as a 15-year-old to 21-year-old now, syempre magbabago ka. You're not human if you don't change, right? And change is part of life. And so I changed from being so focused on makeup to now being so focused on social and political issues. And I didn't want to be ingenuine to my followers and pretend that, of course, I still love makeup to a point, but I didn't want to be ingenuine and pretend like that was still the center of, my purpose, which I knew in my heart it wasn't. I knew that it was, I went on a hiatus kasi for a few months. Medyo nag-mental breakdown ako. But I'm okay now. But after I came back from that, I had a new purpose, and I realized that I didn't want to pretend like I didn't get that new purpose. And so I acted on it as soon as possible because it was something I was passionate about. And at that point, it was the water shortage from last year. I think about exactly a year ago, where I posted that video, and I did the research and I did the nitty-gritty stuff, and I think I got good responses from people, and it just never stopped from there.
Okay. Janina, mind you, hindi lang yung mga, ito kasi may mga nagko-comment ngayon ng mga watchers mo, audience mo, na yung they grew up with you. Pero the moment you shifted your content, actually, even yung mga contemporaries namin ni Ea, mga late 20s na, nanonood din ng content mo. So, kasi parang they could relate na you're using your platform nga to educate, di ba, about social issues. So, before we dig into the content itself, the issues, di ba, kasi talagang very divisive issues yung ibang mga issues dito. What was the, what was the common reaction of your followers before? Kasi parang, kung ako, makikinig ako ng ASMR, pampatulog, yun ang papakinggan ko, tapos biglang magpo-politika na, so parang, magaganon ako. So, ano yung naging reaction sa'yo ng mga fans mo na, whoa, wait, hindi na makeup lang yung ginagawa ni Janina Vela, she's talking about real issues in life.
To be completely honest, not naman half-half. Siguro 60-40 siya. Good and bad. I was stagnant at 690,000 subscribers for almost a year, honestly, because there were so many people unsubscribing, and then there are also so many people subscribing, and so medyo naging stagnant na lang ako because syempre there's a shift in content, and I don't blame them for not being interested in that kasi that's not the reason why they subscribed to me anyway. But it was 60-40. I think my Vela fam who've been with me since the start. Actually, Jelle is here and Hannah is here, and I recognize their names because they've been here for so long. I got a lot of support there, na parang, wow, we stand even harder, and that made me feel so good. I was like, oh, thank you. They wanna hear what I have to say about these things. But yeah, syempre, there was that reality that people didn't want to listen to me, and people didn't want to listen to what I had to say about these topics. But I guess it's just, I don't know, there are pros and cons to everything. And I realized that, my why I should do this outweighed my why nots. There are so many, I shouldn't do this because of this, because I'm subscribing, because I get less jobs and I don't get as many advertisements on my channel. But there were so many whys na, no, I need to educate my followers. I need to get people to think. I need to do everything I can to, give the nation what they deserve, and give them the content that they deserve. And so, yeah, the whys outweighed the why nots, and that's why I kept going.
Great. Janina, tell us about how you work on these content that you put out. What's your day like? Are you doing this full time now? And how much thought do you put into preparing for each episode or each material that you release?
Yeah. It's very, very taxing. It's kind of insane because I lose myself for about a week, because I'm just constantly thinking and talking. And I'm, what, I'll move my camera a bit because you can see my, that's like my whiteboard. And you can't see it that much, but those are all of my notes on my latest video. And I kind of look like a crazy person in my room. But it's a lot. It's a lot of research because I don't want to say anything that I might regret or something that's not true. Fake news is so rampant, and that's something that I'm very adamant on staying away from. And so, yeah, for a whole week, that's, I'm only talking about that one topic. I'm on Twitter constantly, sending links to my DMs and writing down, kind of typing and revising and re-editing and redrafting every single day to get the perfect, precise words that I want to be shared online. Kasi alam ko naman anything can be twisted, anything can be misunderstood really fast. I learned that the hard way. I got canceled last year for a political statement I didn't think too well on. And so now, syempre sa experience na yun, I'm trying to be as precise as possible with what I mean and what I want to say. And so, yeah, it's a long process. Kaya I don't get to post 3 times a week anymore, because I'm, it is a lot more work that goes into it because it's really script writing. But yeah, I think, now I'm gonna try to go back to posting once a week, trying to kind of go back to my roots, YouTube. But yeah, that's it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I first met Janina, I think, some years ago for a YouTube event with UNDP, tama, Janina?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I delivered the talk and I showed this picture. Remember that, Janina?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the truth kasi, di ba? So you were researching to search for the truth. But sometimes when you research, minsan may iba't ibang versions of truth. But at the end of the day, there's only one truth. Like for this one, ang sinasabi ko sa inyo dyan before, kung sino man yung nagsulat niyan, alam niya kung 6 or 9 talaga yan. But now, confused yung mga tao kung 6 or 9. So, going back to the truth, Janina, how do you decipher na this kind of truth is maybe the universal truth that we should use in your content?
Yeah, well, sa last video ko, I had to talk to a lot of businessmen and a lot of lawyers because, as much as we say that we're not biased, everybody has their own, my dad calls it internal filter, kind of internal bias na rin. Every time we read something because of how we were brought up, we read it differently from how somebody else read it. And so I like to hear as many opinions, as many perspectives as I can. And obviously, check facts from good sources and the same facts in different sites also, because I know that it sometimes wording can can change the whole story. And so again, that's why it takes so long, because I really have to look at it from every angle. From 6 to 9, pwede siyang maging G pala or E, or there's so much more sides. And so for me, I try to get everything, all of the facts that I can muster about all of the opinions, and then after that, I kind of, it comes to my morals. I think that's, the end of it for me on my channel personally. Na, what do I believe is morally right? What do I believe is, is justice, no? So I think at the end of the day, yeah, I put together all the facts, but they're still my thoughts, and so they're still based on my own internal filters. But I think mas malawak lang yung opinion.
Okay.
So Janina, how do you envision your platforms moving forward, or maybe much farther? What do you want to achieve through these platforms and the content that you're producing?
I try as much as possible. We talked about internal filters and bias. I try my best talaga to just present facts as they are. But syempre, I'm not a newscaster, so I'm not very good at that. But I think my main point kasi is to get people to think, is to get people to actually ponder on things that they try to push aside. Kasi syempre, social issues, kahit mental health, stuff like that, mental health or family stuff, or, politics and the pandemic. It can be taboo. And I think in the Philippines, we've grown up as politics is, kind of taboo, or it's something that only the grown-ups are allowed to talk about. Because for some deep cultural thing. But I'm releasing a new series on my channel on Monday, and it's because I have a dream. Because I have a dream that one day we'll be able to talk about politics and pop culture in the same conversation. That it will be that normal to talk about both. It will be that normal for a 21-year-old or a 16-year-old to have opinions on these things and get educated and become as knowledgeable as they can be on these topics. Because it affects us just as much as it affects the older people, or the people who tell me not to talk, or to stay in my lane, or to just shut up na lang. So I that's my dream, that it will be a normal thing, that people, how do I say this right? That people won't have to quote unquote stand me, or they won't look at me like I'm so different or like I'm special, but it will be a normal thing. That it will be normal for people to be knowledgeable. It will be normal for people to have conversations on this. I have conversations with my best friends every single morning about what happened the day before, in regards to politics. And it's become our normal. And I think that's my dream for the youth of the Philippines.
But you know what, Janina? The moment that elder people or older people tell you to stop talking about politics, it's their own failure. Lalo na when we're talking about politics. Kasi it only shows their, parang limited knowledge about politics. Because politics is about everything, di ba? We're all political animals here. So it involves everyone. So kailangan bata ka man, educated ka man or not, kailangan may masasabi ka about politics because we are all in the same realm. Janine, you mentioned about biases a while ago. I wanna focus on that kasi of course, kahit nasabihin natin yung mga facts, meron pa rin tayong mga biases. So, how do you parang package your biases in a way na hindi siya divisive pero more on letting people understand you?
Fine, sige lang, I'll reveal my secret. So, my secret kasi is that I almost never use declarative sentences when I'm talking about my own opinions. I'm always asking questions. Questions that kind of reveal part of my bias, but also, again, makes them think. So that it's not me feeding them the answers that I want them to have. It's them coming up with the answers by themselves. And so that's kind of my trick on how to do it. Nah, I'm not imposing my own beliefs. I'm not imposing my own biases, but I'm asking questions that siguro I know the answers to, but they have to figure out on their own. Aside from that, it's quoting other people na lang para sila na rin yung away nila, not me. So yeah, those are my two, kind of tricks.
Yeah, so Janina, you're shedding murky waters and the difficult, plates and opposing opinions all the time whenever you put out controversial or comment on controversial matters. So take us back to a moment when you had some backlash and you received flack for all the things that you said maybe. How did you deal with it? And how did you kind of reconcile it? Because I know whenever we put out content and we receive feedback, we kind of have to filter which one we would entertain, which ones we would consider. what was it like for you, and how did you reconcile it with your internal beliefs?
Yeah. I think automatically that time I got canceled just pops up in my head last year, May 3. See, that's how traumatic it was for me.
Very
I
detailed,
remember the day. It was because I did this interview. It was my first kind of social issue political interview, and it was a round table with people who have been doing it for years, veterans of debates. All of them were from UP, so I should have known at that point that I was like, oh no, I'm dead. But yeah, I was there, and they were asking, how media kind of twists stories online, cut out things that will make it look more controversial. And so I was a victim of that. I know I don't want to call myself a victim. Ugh. I experienced that in the harshest way possible. Na a gesture of mine kind of presented this sort of opinion that they didn't let me explain.
Oh.
And so from that point, people were like, okay, she's done, like, this girl is canceled, never let her speak again, like, you don't know what you're talking about, and all of these accusations, all of these curses. And so obviously that was supposed to silence me. It was supposed to do that. But a week later I posted a video on my choice of senatorial candidates, and then a week later of the mayor that I was voting for, and then a week later, more political content. And so I think I'm palaban to a fault that, even if people try to push me down, I think I'm lucky enough to have a good support system also at home,
Okay.
where my parents also, they don't really completely understand what I'm going through, but then they always make it a point to be there for me and to remind me that these people, quote unquote, aren't real, in a sense that, if there are two kinds of negative comments. Because for me, I realize that there are people who comment to bash, and there are people who comment to try to understand you, or to try
Yeah.
to, and so you have to discern, is this person just trying to bash me, or is this person trying to understand me? And so when I kind of figured out which ones are the bashers and the trolls, then it was easy for me to just switch it off. These people should not have a power over my life. And so I've made it the point, and I made it the habit, that if I don't like what I'm reading, I just delete Twitter. The app is just gone from my phone, because these people don't control me. This app doesn't control me.
Right.
And so I can turn it off just like that. And so taking that power back into my hands always puts things into perspective. And I still knew my purpose. And so I was, you can call it stupidity. I call it bravery. I still kept posting the videos that people told me not to.
That's good to hear, lalo na Janina, yung sinabi mo about the different kinds of comments. Kasi it's similar to listening to argue or listening to understand.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi yung iba parang papakinggan kita kasi hanapan kita ng butas, or papakinggan kita kasi gusto kita intindihin. So yun yung difference ng dalawang yun. Pero nabanggit mo kanina yung cancelled culture. Diba may tipa nga iba doon. Ikaw Janina, as a content creator, ano ang tingin mo dito sa cancel culture na to, lalo na sa Twitter?
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Cancel culture for me is highly, highly, highly unfair. It's inhumane to me, because these people, these are their careers, and they've made a mistake, and to choose and to decide that it's in your control and in your power to not give this person a second chance, to take away that opportunity for this person to learn, to grow, to change, to transform. I think that's just, I don't agree with that at all. But there are people who are just also really crazy with their content, that they're really not thinking morally anymore. That I wouldn't say cancel them, because it's kind of really digitally violent, I would call it. But I don't agree that we should allow people to, I think, because I know the feeling. It feels powerful to be able to end this person's career. But I don't think that the internet is not a place of grace, and so sometimes people can be nitpicky, and sometimes people just want to feel that power. That's kind of addicting, and so it's not good for obviously the person who's being canceled. But what they don't notice is it's also not good for them. Thriving on hate, thriving on anger, thriving on, that power of ending somebody's career, that won't do any good for that person and won't do any good for the counselor either. So I do not agree with the culture at all.
Right. So, Gina, tell us about maybe one of the challenges that you face aside from these um, bashers and other maybe negative comments that's usually there whenever you put content online. It's bound to happen. But what are the challenges that you face? Maybe some people don't know as content creators.
Yeah. What are other challenges that I face? I think there is a lot of actual self-doubt actually that goes on behind the camera, behind the scenes. I think I cry a lot more now because I get frustrated with
When it's
myself.
okay to cry.
Yeah, it is okay to cry. It is. And so it's just it also there's that hardship of being highly emotional because I'm an emotional person, but I'm not supposed to be emotional when I'm talking about current affairs. No, but I think it's the self doubt of, am I supposed to be here? Am I doing the right thing? Is this helping anybody? Am I the right person to do this? Am I saying the right things? There's so many questions in my head all the time. But it just goes back to, if I don't do it, then who will? Not saying that I'm the savior of the earth. It's just I can't sit around waiting for somebody else to do what I know has to be done, because I could be waiting for 10 years and hopefully I won't be. But yeah, it's if I don't do it, who will? And then to the viewers watching, if there's something that you need to do that you've been holding off, if you don't do it, then who will do it? I think there's some sort of contribution that a particular or a unique person can do that nobody else can do. And so I know that with how I was built, there's something that I can offer to the world that I know is going to be different from anything else anybody can offer. And so the same way with Aya and Jules and whoever's watching, there's just a different kind of gift that you bring into the world. Nasayang naman if you keep it, a secret, and you withhold that from the people who need it. And so, there's a battle of insecurity, which is normal. It's normal to be insecure. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
pull up some questions from our viewers. Okay, so this is from Jermaine Derunya, one of my mentors actually. So her question for you, Janina, is: would you like to join your fellow content creators to talk more about social and political issues?
Yeah. I think I get this question a lot, no? Because it's a rampant topic now, whether speaking up or it's abstaining. But I think that your opinion matters. Speaking up matters. Your voice matters. I think it's just the way that we use it also is very important. I read this quote. It says, highly rephrased, or paraphrase. It's like, don't raise your voice, but just strengthen your argument. And so I think that's an important thing to have in mind, is to not just be shouty and loud and hateful. And it's fun to be hateful. It's fun to mock. No, it's fun to do all these things. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really help anybody. That just fuels hate and anger and fire. It's fighting fire with fire. And so I think, yes, I do encourage people to speak up, but I encourage people to speak up wisely and intelligently and kindly as well. I don't. I get really sad when somebody has a good point, but it's said in in a not nice tone, it kind of kind of breaks my heart because sayang naman, because automatically kasi when it's hateful, people turn away their ears. And so if you want to quote unquote change somebody's mind, or if you want to bring enlightenment to a subject, it's not by hate, no, it's by gentleness and patience and kindness, which is why my outro to my videos is all be a little kinder, because I think I don't want to be so cliche. We can change the world with kindness. But I think that's so important in whatever aspect of your life, whether it's beauty videos or political videos or just posting a tweet. It's just so important to always keep a little bit of kindness at the very least.
Okay. So Janina, as we wrap up, maybe you can share some tips for young ladies, actually not just ladies, for everyone out there who may want to follow your footsteps.
Okay. Don't make excuses. Excuses are your worst enemy, and they will do you no good. Like I said a while ago, we will never run out of excuses, but we always run out of time. And so I don't want you to look back 10 years from now and wish that you had spoken up, or wish you had done something, or wish you had taken action. So I think now is the perfect time to, let's say, if you're not ready to do something like a YouTube video or post or put yourself out there publicly, then now's the time to at least hone your skills. Now's the time to get ready, is to enjoy this moment of preparation. It's I think for me, it's always doing something. It's a very workaholic thing, to always want to do something, but that also includes taking breaks, because I feel like recharging is just as important as charging. But yeah, I think it's always doing something, always doing something every day to better yourself, to grow as a person. Even if it's a little thing. For me, I like to read, even if I'm not really working on a video, if I'm not working on something big. It's just, okay, I just want to be a little bit more knowledgeable, so I'm gonna read. Or if your talent is singing, then just practice a little bit of guitar. My point is, always do something that will benefit you in the future. Do at least one little thing a day, and that will create lasting change in the future for yourself.
Yeah. Before we let you go, final question from your viewer. So, tanong niya, how would you encourage the youth to be interested more in social issues?
Oh, that's a good question. Paano ba? I think um it's just to know that there's a world that goes beyond you and your household. There's a lot more to the world than just yourself, and I think that was a hard bubble for me to pop. Being the only girl in my family, and growing up in a complete setting, like family, friends, and so popping that bubble was very difficult. But I think it was something that was necessary for the quote unquote greater good. Because yeah, I always just believe in going beyond yourself, going beyond your household, because life is more than just you. Um, that's kind of mean. I'm sorry if that comes off like mean, but it's a hard but good truth. And at the end of the day, also it will benefit you as well. The values, the principles that you'll learn, it there's nothing quite like thinking about other people. There's nothing quite like acting selflessly, and you'll understand it when you get there, and when you stop making excuses and you do it. So I think it's learn to love beyond yourself, learn to be kind beyond yourself. We live in a culture of self-love, self-care, which is great. I love that. But let's not get so caught up on it that we're only focused on ourselves and only looking at ourselves like the center of our universe, because we're not. We're not the center. So yeah, it's go beyond yourself. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Janina, for sharing your insights and for sharing your time with us. Please do invite our viewers to maybe follow you. Where can they find you online?
You can find me online, JANINA VELA. That's my name everywhere, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, of course. You can subscribe to my channel. Also Spotify, because I have an album out. Shameless plug. You can listen to that on Spotify or all digital platforms for music. Yeah, just JANINA VELA. I'm very active right now, especially during the lockdown. So you can totally tweet me, DM me, and I'll try my best to respond.
Janina Vela, thank you so much. I am so proud of you. We are so proud of you. Salamat for using your platform for people to be braver and to speak more about social issues. Thank you so much. See you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
All right. Anong takeaway mo, Ea?
Well, a lot of insights there, Jules, but primarily I would like to emphasize that yes, every one of us has a unique voice, and it is up to us to find the best way that we could amplify that voice. Because sometimes the voices are just in our heads, it doesn't really get out there. Not a lot of people can create platforms, not a lot of people maximize the platforms that they have. So, yon, and totoo yun, minsan there are doubts and insecurities, but maybe it's time to just really do as what Janina Vela said, to just do it and
Right.
stop making excuses if you want to be heard.
Mhm. Yung sa akin naman, Ea, gusto ko yung sinabi niyang ganito, na taking back the power from the apps or whatsoever from the internet. Minsan kasi sobrang powerful na nitong gadgets natin, particularly social media. Dito na umiikot minsan yung buhay ng ibang mga tao. Parang we're here to please people, we're here to get the likes, the following, etc. Pero yung sinabi ni Janina kanina, I think that's very important. Kung sa tingin mo na yung Twitter, yung perception ng mga tao yun ay kumokontrol sa buhay mo, you can suddenly just delete an app and take back the power from it and realize that at the end of the day, you are in control with your life. Diba? Very important yun, lalo na sa mga bata ngayon na nakikinig, na sa hulit-huli, kayo rin yung may kapangyarihan na mag-steer ng buhay nyo kung saan papunta yan. Hindi kung ano yung sinasabi ng ibang tao.
Mm-mm. And I would again bilang champion ng potentials ng mga kabataan, again, I would really want to highlight that na age is really, at most times, it's just a number. And hindi mo kailangan maghintay till you're over 20 or 25 or a certain ideal age before you get to speak up or before you get to I don't know, be knowledgeable enough of some things. If you want to learn something, you can start studying it if you can. Yeah, I understand we have different circumstances, opportunities, and resources at our hands, but try to look at what you have right now that you can do, that you can use. Because, yeah, Janina at 15 was able to find her voice to create her platform, and 6 years of consistently doing it. She has apparently touched a lot of lives already.
Mhm. Okay. So para sa mga viewers natin na first time manood dito, we air MWF at 11 p.m. and we talk about things that could actually impact your lives. And happy kami na nandito kayo ngayon, at ako I'm super happy with this interview with Janina kasi nakikita ko talaga nagamit niya yung platform niya to influence people. Okay. So another segment in this show is we feature different initiatives specifically during this pandemic. So this is Anong Ambag Mo. Anong feature natin ngayon, Ea, before we end?
Yes. Syempre, baka narinig nyo na rin to, anong ambag nyo. Baka may nagtanong sa inyo niyan. Dito sa QuaranTALK, we features actual ambag of different people and organizations. So tonight, we're talking about Together We Rise. Pero ang rise na yan ay hindi R-I-S-E, it's R-I-C-E.
Gutom naman ako ulit.
Yes, literally, ang goal ng Together We Rise, their goal is to deliver rice sacks to rice to remote areas affected by the pandemic. If we have another visual available for the donations, you can head on to their Facebook page, Together We Rise. That's RICE, And on your screens, you'll find there ways on how you can donate. So yan, because of the pandemic and the lockdown and the difficulty of deliveries and transportation, this group is making it possible to reach remote areas through your donations also, of course. Ayan, Jules?
Yeah, so sa lahat ng mga viewers natin, kung meron kayong mga alam na mga initiatives na pwede natin ma-feature dito, send nyo lang sa QuaranTALK Facebook page so we could feature them on the show. Okay, so we'd like to plug this online concert. We are collaborating with these groups. Check the publicity right now. So this is an online concert for our healthcare workers working in the UK, Filipino healthcare workers. So we are featuring Mitoy. This will be on the 30th of May at 7:30 p.m. here in Manila and in the UK at 12:30 p.m. So all proceeds yung magdo-donate mapupunta para sa mga healthcare workers natin.
Right. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Kita-kita ulit tayo dito sa daldalang walang curfew.
At Usapang di nalalockdown. This is QuaranTALK. Live po tayo dito sa Facebook Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 p.m.
Yes, and follow us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/QuaranTALKonline.
Once again, I'm Jules Guiang. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jules Guiang and Jules Guiang 420 on UpLive.
Yes, and connect with me on Twitter at Ea_Antonio and on Instagram, I'm at Ea_Antonio.
Happy weekend!
Yes, it's a weekend. Have a good rest this weekend, guys. Be safe.
Good night!
Night.
Bye!
Bye.